Good morning, students. Today we'll start the new chapter. This is the first chapter of your book, which is called Solid State. This chapter, last year, this chapter is removed from your syllabus, but this year again introduced this first chapter, the Solid State. So that's why now I'll do this first chapter, the Solid State. So in class 11 you have got, as you know, there are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. And in class 11 already you have studied about the gaseous state and liquid state, and that's why the solid state is given in class 12. So before starting, you should know about the point of differences between the solid, liquid and gaseous state. You know, gas do not have any definite volume, definite shape. Liquid have some volume, but it do not have any definite shape. It take the shape of the container. And in case of solid, they have definite shape, definite volume. Secondly, if you consider their molecules, in case of liquid, in case of gas, the molecules do not have any kind of force of attraction, and that is why the molecules can move freely inside the container. But in case of liquid, they have little bit of force of attraction. That's why their movement is somewhat less than your gaseous state. And due to this force of attraction, the intermolecular distance will be small. But in case of solid state, they have a strong force of attraction in between the particles, and that is why the particles are closely attached with one another. And due to this attachment, due to this strong force of attraction, they attach with each other, and due to this strong force of attraction, the intermolecular distance is very, very small. And due to this strong force of attraction, the molecules are closely attached with one another like this. These are the supposed molecules. The molecules are closely attached with one another. So due to this attachment, you will get a definite shape for the solid, you will get a definite volume for the solid. Actually, solid have three-dimensional structure. So in board I can show you the 2D only. So you have to imagine the structure. You will get different types of structure of solid. All are 3D structure. So you have to imagine it. And since atom molecules, these are considered as spherical, that's why by drawing sphere here, I have drawn circle, but you have to consider it as sphere. These are the 3D sphere, and like this, the solid will form three-dimensional structure. So we'll discuss the structure of solid later. So first time you should know what are solid. Actually, solid means it is defined as a form of matter which possesses a definite volume and definite shape. Those states which have definite volume, definite shape, they are called the solid state. Now, you should know first time about the classification of solid. Mainly, there are two types of solid. One is called crystalline solid. One is called crystalline solid, and one is called amorphous solid. There are two types of solid. Some solids are called crystalline solid, and some solids are called amorphous solid. Actually, what is the difference between crystalline solid and amorphous solid? When you do the practical, when you do salt analysis, and then also you have to mention about the physical appearance of the salt. So when you describe about the physical appearance of the salt, then you have to write crystalline or amorphous. If the salt is crystal type, then you have to write crystalline, and if the salt is amorphous, then you have to write amorphous. So these are the two classification of solid. So when it is said to be crystalline, when the solid is like crystal type. For example, if you consider sugar, salt, they are like crystal type. Now, when you take one piece of sugar, it's like crystal type. So that type of substances are said to be the crystalline solid. But when you do the salt, if you get a salt completely powder type, then you cannot find out its structure. So that type of powder type salts are said to be the amorphous solid. Crystalline solid possesses a definite shape, but amorphous solid do not have any regular shape. That is the main point of difference between crystalline solid and amorphous solid. In crystalline solid, the various constituent particles, the particles present inside the solid. Do you know what are the particles present inside the solid? This is a solid substance. Inside this substance also, some particles are present. What are these particles? These particles may be atom, these particles may be molecules, and this particle may be ions depending on the nature of the solid. So in case of crystalline solid, the various constituent particles like atoms, molecules or ions, they are arranged in a definite geometric pattern, and that is why for crystalline solid you will get a definite geometrical shape. It may be like square, it may be like octahedral, that type of shape you will get for crystalline solid. And this crystalline solid possesses long range order. I mean, if one particle is here, another particle is here, suppose another particle should maintain the distance like this. I mean, they possesses long range order. But in case of amorphous, they possesses short range order like this. If one particle in this distance, another particle will be maybe like this. So I mean, they do not follow the order. That is why crystalline solid possesses long range order, but amorphous solid possesses short range order. That is one of the point of difference between crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Another point of difference, crystalline solid possesses a definite regular shape, but amorphous solid do not possesses any definite regular shape. So these are the difference. Amorphous solid example, you can write glass, glass, plastic. These are the example of amorphous solid. So now if you want to write the difference between crystalline solid and amorphous solid, here in this chapter mainly we have to study about the crystalline solid. I mean about the solid which have definite shape. For that type of solid we have to study. Amorphous solid we do not study here. So if you want to write difference between crystalline and amorphous, then how you have to write the difference? So in crystalline solid you have to write, in crystalline solid the various constituent particles are arranged in a definite geometric pattern within the solid, and they are said to possess long range order. In case of amorphous solid, the particles, the various constituent particles, they do not have, they are not arranged in a definite regular fashion, and they may have only short range order. So these were the main points of difference between crystalline and amorphous solid. But do you know a crystalline solid you can convert to amorphous one. A crystalline solid you can make amorphous. How? First time you have to melt the solid. You melt it, then you have to rapidly cool it. I mean, when a crystalline solid is melt, after that if you rapidly cool it, then a crystalline solid is converted to amorphous solid. I mean, a crystalline solid can be converted to amorphous solid, but you cannot convert amorphous solid to your crystalline solid. That is one of the point of difference between these two. So the question may be asked in exam, how to convert a crystalline solid to amorphous solid. Then you have to write, when a crystalline solid is melt, and after melting, if it is rapidly cooled, then the crystalline solid will be converted to amorphous solid. So here the main important thing is write 2 points of differences between crystalline solid and amorphous solid. That is one of the question. Another question may be asked, identify the crystalline solid and amorphous solid from the following. I mean, some example of solids you will get. Some solids will be supplied to you, and you have to identify which one is crystalline, which one is amorphous. That type of question asked. Number 3 question, how a crystalline solid can be converted to amorphous solid. So these are the possible questions from this part. Mainly you should know about the definition of crystalline solid and the amorphous solid.